Hello, people of the internet. Welcome back to Liberarla, El Movimiento, the podcast that I created to inspire, empower, and liberate women around the world. In this episode, I decided we're going to take some time to introduce myself and let you guys know exactly who your host is. So, if you haven't met me already, nice to meet you. My name is Alex James, or at least that's what everybody knows me as. You see, my birth given name is Katia Alexandra Vicaña Rivera. Mouthful, right? I was born and raised in Tucson, Arizona. I grew up in the Sonoran Desert, and my mother is of Douglas, Arizona, where my father is of Tucson, Arizona. How I came to the name Alex James is, well, it's quite the story. I'm sure you might know the story of Sasha Fierce, the story that was created none other by the Beyonce. Well, that's similar to how I created Alex James. And to be quite frank, I didn't know who Sasha Fierce was when I created Alex James. What I knew was that when I was on stage dancing, I could be the biggest diva ever, this character outside of myself. But when I was off that stage, I was a quiet, shy girl. There's this one interview with Beyonce where she explained Sasha Fierce and how she was this shy southern girl who really wasn't a big diva. But when she got on this stage, she created this outside persona, this character, Sasha Fierce. And this character, she was the biggest diva. This character, she played full out. This character was the center of attention the moment she walked in. But that's not how Beyonce felt about herself. She didn't have that confidence yet. And so she decided to create somebody outside of herself, a character she played that she would step into. And eventually it became that Beyonce didn't need that character. She would become Sasha Fierce. Or rather, Sasha Fierce would become Beyonce. Nonetheless, she didn't need it anymore. She was able to step into her true self without needing some character outside of her, some alter ego. And that is kind of how I created Alex James. Now, like I said, I created Alex James when I was 8 years old. I wasn't sitting there just doodling little names, trying to decide what I wanted people to call me. The way Alex James was created, well, for starters, is because of two things. First, my first name is Katia. I went to school on the white part of town. Katia is a Russian name, though I'm Mexican. And so a lot of people could not pronounce it. And I hated being called Katia, Katia, Katie. And so I would tell people, just call me Alex. My name's Katia Alexandra. Just call me Alex. And that's how Alex started. Now, I don't know if you guys know of when Facebook started, but it was in the 2000s. And the whole, boom of social media. I like to think of myself as the first generation of kids that grew up with parents on the internet. You're seeing all of these content creator families come out and this new era of all of that. But I have to say, it's been a thing, and I think I'm quite frankly the first generation of those kids that experienced being exposed on the internet. No shade to my dad. Sorry, Dad. I don't mean to expose you. But my dad was definitely one of those people who were into tech, into all the new things, and he loved to use social media. And nonetheless, of course, he would brag about his family, his kids. And so it would always happen that people would come up to me and be like, "Oh, you're Anthony Rivera's daughter, right? Oh, I know you. I saw you on Facebook. Oh, congratulations on that award. Oh, didn't you just have that performance last week? Oh, yeah, I saw it on your dad's Facebook. You did a good job." These people who thought that they knew me because they knew things that my dad posted about me. And so as I got older, I like to use Alex James. James is my father's middle name, and now my last name. But it's a homage, it's a respect to my father to keep his name without using, his last name. And when I decided to pass James on to my son as a last name, it was the same thing, paying respect to my father and, all that he's done for me and raised me to be. But at the same time, I don't align with what our family values might be in the Rivera bloodline. I don't necessarily agree with the things that my families do, neither on my father's side or my mother's side. And so it felt just right to create a last name that I created for myself, a name that was mine, though it still paid respect to my family's. And so when I was about 8 years old, and I know this is when I started using Alex James because this is my first ever time going to be in a talent show. And so at 8 years old, I was on a talent show and I asked my teacher to use Alex James in the program. And I remember because, all my friends already called me Alex. I didn't like for them to call me Katia, Katya, so Alex it was. It's not like anybody is gonna double check my last name. And when my parents are looking at this program on the drive home, they're telling me, who the heck is Alex James? And well, it was an alter ego that I created for myself, a stage name. And I used it for many years as just a stage name, as my alter ego. And I was Katya at home. But with time, my alter ego became me. And I didn't necessarily need an alter ego. And so at times I think it's kind of funny when people come up to me in the street and say, Are you Alex James from TikTok? And I'll be like, yeah, that's me. But it also is just telling to how much I've built for myself, my name, my company. And it also is very humbling to know how much I can make an impact in my community. And like I'm saying, my dad used to post me on his Facebook page and everything, and I didn't always like for everybody in town to know my business. My dad was quite well known in the Tucson area, and later as his business grew, he became quite well known all around. My father is one of the co-owners of Anchor Wave. He is a co-founder of Agency Coach and Funnel Hub. Funnel Hub is a partner with ClickFunnels. If you're familiar with ClickFunnels, then you might know just how I was raised, but I was raised with an entrepreneur father who raised me quite differently than other kids were. And I'll get into that maybe in other episodes. But being raised by an entrepreneur really taught me how to look at life differently. It taught me different perspectives. And it taught me to play full out and not be afraid of failure. And I say that kind of ironically because I've owned this business for 6 years. And I knew a podcast was something that I needed to create to connect with the community of women that I was inspired by. Yet I wanted to wait till everything was perfect. And the thing is, life isn't perfect. It never will be. But the thing that you can be is authentically yourself. The thing that you can be is a non-judgmental friend to others. The thing that you can be is a cheerleader to the people around you. And so when people ask me why I'm famous, I don't consider myself famous in any shape, way, or form. But what I do consider myself is a friend that's not going to judge you. What I do consider myself is somebody who's going to cheer you on because I want you to do the best that you can in life. What I do consider myself is somebody who is going to love because love is the highest frequency And that is what my purpose is in this life. Now, I created Alex James as an alter ego persona. And I never expected at 8 years old for it to develop into this and all opportunities that it's brought me. But nonetheless, I also recognize how much responsibility that comes with, because I have a duty to my community to be of service. So if you haven't been playing full out, if you know you need to do more, not just for yourself, but because your community needs you, if you're a woman who has been having visions, been having dreams to create that business, this is the universe speaking to you. The time is now. Join me along the journey so we could have some advice, some chit chat, and of course support. Sincerely, Alex James.